everybody? What's happening? What's shaking? What's doing? Welcome to episode 361, I think it is, something like that, of McRae Live. My name's Dave McRae, coming to you live from the Voice Man Studios in Toronto, Canada. The date today is Monday, September the 29th, 2025, 7:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you are all doing well. And tonight, we're going to be talking some The House on Port Robinson Road. I'll give a little update on that. Talking some, well, whatever you want to talk about. But also, the anonymous donor that helped us get into In Demand a couple of weeks ago is going to match the remaining Bloodbath Double Feature perks, which started on Saturday, I think it was. So we've sold 2 already. We got to sell the rest. There's only 11 more to go. We can do it tonight. Tonight is the night we're going to do it. Just 11. 11. Just 11, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know who's going to tune into the show. You know, I mean, these shows are always, people are like, Dave's talking his house on Port Robinson Road. But for those of you that really do want to know and care and all that kind of stuff, then stick around because, so very excited. We have 11 left on the Bloodbath Double Feature. And the Bloodbath Double Feature, of course, is the, let me just move over to the other screen so I can get, I'd like to sell them all out tonight. The reason why is because if we sell the last 11, there's only 11 left. There's 11 left. I'm hoping we can sell them out tonight. I don't know if we're going to be able to. Depends on who's watching. Right now, there's literally only 24 people in here, which means one of two things. People didn't realize I was going live. They see that I'm live and I'm talking The House on Port Robinson Road and want to check out. Or there's somebody else that's live right now that they'd rather watch. So maybe that's it too. I don't know. We'll see if anybody tunes in. But 11. 11 is the magic number, ladies and gentlemen. And let me go over to the other screen. There we are. We are sitting at 255 backers. And see, the bottom one you hear, or the bottom one you see here is the one that's where we finished, right? So that is the In Demand total. That's where we finished. When we finished on September the 14th, we finished at 21,900, 251 backers. Since the 14th of September, so a couple of weeks, we haven't gone up that much, but that's because when campaigns sort of reach their base goal, it suddenly becomes a harder sell when you want to reach the stretch goals, because people kind of figure, oh, you've reached your goal. They don't realize that it's the first goal. But nonetheless, we've been able to bump up to 22,100 with 255. And of course, down here, and the link is pinned to the top of the chat, down here is the Bloodbath Double Feature. There it is. Only 11 left. Only 11 left. The Bloodbath Double Feature, only 11 left. I want to sell all those 11 tonight because that means, including the 2 that I sold over the weekend, which means 13, which means the anonymous donor, who I believe is watching live right now, will match the Bloodbath Double Feature. Now, you guys can pick up other perks as well. That's not included in the matching. Of course, I will leave that up to the anonymous donor, but that wasn't the agreement. The agreement is if we sell all remaining 13 Bloodbath Double Features, we have 11 left, the anonymous donor will match it. Which is great because, you know, we're coming into the month of October. I'm going to be very busy in the month of October. I'm also going away in the middle of the month of October. And so, you know, I don't know how much time I'm going to have to kind of promote this. So I would really like to sell it out because I would like to see all 100 people in the actual chat on Friday, October 31st, 2025, and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I think it'd be a lot of fun to see all your faces there. Brandon Barry just said, just bought mine, Dave. Amazing. Amazing. Geeked Out Turtle Fan said, I'm not wearing any pants. You just bought yours in the sense like right now, or you mean over the weekend? Let me just see here. I went all the way down. You just bought you did. Amazing. Thank you, buddy. So now we're down to 10. Just 10 to go. Just 10 to go. It is $50 Canadian, but for you in the US, that's about $36, $37 US. If you live in the UK, it's about 25 pounds. So it's very affordable, very cheap. A watch-along of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and Halloween Kills with me on Halloween night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember, if you can't make it live, but you are serious about supporting it, you can still pick up the perk because you'll get emailed the link. So even though you can't watch it live because you're taking the kids trick-or-treating or you got a Halloween party you're going to or, whatever the case, you can always watch it after the fact, right? Once you've done with the kids and you're done the Halloween party, you can sit in bed at night and turn on this stream and it's hot off the presses, right? It's hot off the presses. Or you can watch it the next day or the next week or the next year. You will have the link. So do not let you being busy Friday night, Halloween night, be a deterrent or your reason for not picking it up if you are serious about picking it up, right? So again, that's awesome. Awesome. Ryan Osho says, let's do this, fellow McCrazies. Well, there's not too many people in here at the moment. So there's a very low view count at the moment, but that could also be because, again, people are, they're not interested. And that's fair. That's totally fine. Geeked Out Troll Fan says, do you promise to yell at the screen, Dave? To yell at the screen? When we're watching Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, yes, I will be yelling a lot when we're watching Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. For sure. Just now. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Thank you. Stone Cold says, I'd like to be an anonymous donaire. Well, you could be. I mean, you've outed yourself now, but I mean, you could have been. And also, remember, if you're watching after the fact, again, if you want to contribute to the development funds to the house on Port Robinson Road, because we have reached our base goal, but we have two stretch goals, right? There's the 30,000 Canadian and there's the 60,000 Canadian. Now, I don't know if we're ever going to reach the 60,000 Canadian. 60,000 on a development campaign would be unreal. That would be incredible. But I believe that the 30,000 Canadian is absolutely within reach because we're already sitting at 22,100. So that first stretch goal of 30,000 Canadian, I believe, is absolutely within reach. And I don't mean like tonight, but I mean over the course of, the weeks and months, I believe that is absolutely within reach. And it starts tonight with the Bloodbath Double Feature, selling out the Bloodbath Double Feature. That is what it is right there. There it is. Halloween night. Now, I have a feeling that some people maybe are deterred because it's Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, or maybe it's because it's Halloween Kills. Because I have had some people say to me, well, Dave, I would totally support, I would totally join, I would totally make the purchase, but I'm not interested in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and, all that. It's like, well, here's what I have to say. I understand that, but at the end of the day, this isn't really about the movies that you're watching, right? This is about supporting the development funds in the house on Port Robinson Road, and it's about Halloween night, having fun, watching some movies, and it's fun too because, I chose these two specifically, not that I want to sit down and watch Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, but we always watch the same Halloween movies over and over again. Last Halloween, 2024, I was live on this channel with Darren from The Slaughtered Lamb and Mr. Sandsman, and we were watching Halloween 1, Halloween 2. I watched Halloween 4. After that, Darren had to go to bed, of course, because he's, across the pond in the UK, so it was very late for him. But, I didn't want to do that again. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to change it up. And so when I Googled, what are the two most violent, goriest, bloodiest Halloween movies in the franchise? And the interwebs on multiple sources told me that it was Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and Halloween Kills, which made sense to me. I mean, I haven't, examined every Halloween movie to know whether that is 100% accurate, but at face value, it makes sense to me when I think of the movies. And so I thought, that'll be good because we got to spread the love around, right? We can't just watch the same thing over and over again. Believe it or not, there are people out there, maybe you're watching right now or watching after the fact, that love Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. You love Rob Zombie. You love Halloween Kills. Well, you know what? We got to spread the love around, folks. And I thought it would be fun. And at the very least, it'd be fun to talk about it, make fun of it, roll our eyes and groan and like, what the hell is it? It'll be fun. It'll be a fun night. I'm going to dress up. I'm going to have Halloween candy. It's going to be fun. So we are down to Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate that. Supporting Dave is always an awesome thing. Yeah. And it goes to a good cause, right? It doesn't go into my pocket, to go and buy, gas. I mean, that's not what this is all about here, folks. This is the development funds for the house on Port Robinson Road. So it goes into a business account that I have, and everything is there for developing the film further from where we are now. And I thought a cool way to do that because we're a Halloween channel is to do something Halloween on Halloween night. And this is perfect. This is awesome, right? But I do know there have been some people that have been like, I would if it wasn't Rob Zombie's Halloween too. And it's kind of like, yeah, but that's not, thanks. You know what I mean? That means it really isn't about me. It's about you. No. Look, I appreciate every donation, even those who would love to but can't or decide not to. You're all welcome here. I love you guys. You know I do. But there are 10 left. 10 left. And if we sell the remaining 10 tonight, the anonymous donor is going to match it tonight live on the show. So a couple of weeks ago, the donor, we raised, I think, an extra like $2,500 or $3,000, which was awesome. And the anonymous donor was not able to watch live that night. So they emailed me and they said, don't worry, it will be in the account tomorrow. So I had to let you guys know it'll be in the account tomorrow. And it was, and I shared it and we went into In Demand. But the anonymous donor tonight is watching, and they will match the 13 Bloodbath Double Features. So what was that? We started with 13 on Friday. So 13 times 50, that's Canadian. 13 times 50 is 650. So if we sell out the remaining 10 that are available between Friday and now, that'll be 650 Canadian, which is about 460 US or something like that. 500 US, something like that. They will match it, which will be great, which will be cool. And that just helps. That matching from this very generous anonymous donor helps to push things further towards our stretch goals, right? And this is a really cool way to do it. You know what I mean? Helps build the community, gets people excited. So yeah, 10 left, folks. 10 left. I believe we have 10 left. Let's sell. Oh no, what do we have now? We've gone up. You guys, I think we're down to 9. We are down to 9. I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Just 9 right there, folks. I am not leaving until we sell it out. Oh no, I don't want to buy one. What am I doing here? There we go. How do I, anyways, 9 left. You see it there. 9 left. Alrighty. Tim Noth, is that how you say that? Knauf? Has become a member on the channel. Thank you, Tim. Welcome to McRae level number 2. By the way, for my level number 2 members, we are going to be doing, I'm thinking about maybe this Saturday, doing our spooky season horror movie nights. Which will be happening this Saturday if you're part of my level number 2. Brandon Barry says, I might not make it live, but want to support this project, Dave. Awesome. Yeah, exactly. And I really appreciate that, man. And even if you can't make it live, you'll have the link. So you'll be able to check out all the crazy shenanigans after the fact when you can. You know what I mean? So it'll be fun. Thanks, Brandon. I really appreciate that. Geeked Out Turtle Fan says, Dave, are you doing any other live Halloween movie viewings? The holiday, not the movie, in October, on another day that'll go towards the campaign. Not at this time. Something that Brandon Collins, one of our great mods here, had suggested that maybe come the new year, if we haven't reached our first stretch goal yet, one of the things I could do, I might do more of these though. Like I might do, again, I understand that some of the things that I'm offering on the campaign, because it's a development campaign, right? So there's no Blu-rays, there's no producer perks. As I've said many times, a development campaign is a harder sell. It's a harder sell. And it's much harder to sell because there isn't anything tangible yet, right? So, but I'm amazed at the support that we've had already. So to help kind of appeal to people, I started the Bloodbath Double Feature, which I think was smart because we're all Halloween fans here, and it's a great way to give Halloween content, but also support, a good cause in terms of the development of the film. So I'm thinking about maybe doing something similar, like maybe, for Friday the 13th, right? Like maybe, We do a watch along of Crystal Lake. Like if they release like the first 4 episodes, maybe we do something like that on Peacock or something. You know what I mean? I'd have to get a VPN though, because I don't have Peacock. Peacock's not available here in Canada. But that it might go to one of the other services here, might get it or whatever. But anyway, nonetheless, that might be cool, right? Do you know what I mean? And then and the money, I sell maybe 200, at a lower price. So maybe instead of 50 Canadian, we do 30 Canadian, which would be maybe 15 US or something, or 20 US or something. You know what I mean? Like kind of make it higher and lower or something, or I don't know. And then maybe it's 200 people at a lower price. I'm thinking about those things, right? And those perks don't directly relate to the house on Port Robinson Road, but they're appealing to the community and the fan base, the horror community. Because right now, the house on Port Robinson Road doesn't have a footprint, right? And it doesn't have, it's not a movie that's been made. So it doesn't have a large following and, it's not out there yet, right? It doesn't have fans yet, right? So often in a case like this, I have to leverage the community in terms of, Halloween and Friday and Elm Street, and maybe do it that way. And that can be a lot of fun. And then it goes all towards the campaign. It's a smart thing to do. Now, there are, of course, perks on the campaign that have to do with the house on Port Robinson Road, like concept posters, of course, 11 by 17 signed, T-shirts, of course, which are awesome. You can get them signed or unsigned in terms of the concept posters. And then don't forget, there's the November files, right? There's the mystery envelope, the poster 3-pack. You get all these 3 signed. If you pick up this, you'll get all 3 concept posters signed, and you save 20% picking up all 3 than picking up them individually. The novelty Port Robinson Road street sign signed by me. That's kind of fun. There are perks, of course, that have to do with it. And then the November files. Just click on these guys. These are really cool. Really, really, really awesome. And I'd love to sell more of the legacy tier. That's about $950 Canadian. It's about $700 US or something like that. It might feel like it is a high price point, a high tier, but it also pales in comparison to, the production budget campaigns for the Billy films, right? Where we had the executive producers, which were thousands of dollars, right? But this is a really, really cool tier. If you're into this kind of stuff, into ghost hunting and adventures and all that kind of stuff, not that my movie is like that, but I just mean if you're into that kind of thing, you might want to get in on this, because the November Files Legacy tier, you will get videos of the photos from the house on Port Robinson Road, the audio from the house on Port Robinson Road, the video from the house on Port Robinson Road. You get a link to a private live show with me and a few of my college friends, some of whom I haven't seen in 25 years. We're going to be talking about the real experience that inspired the film. You'll get to ask questions and all that kind of stuff. It's a great tier. It's a great tier. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So I'd love to sell a couple more of those, which would be awesome at the very least. That's the top tier. But there's others. There's the November Files Platinum. There's the November Files Plus. And then there's the November Files. So really, really cool stuff if you want to get in on that as well. But tonight, so again, feel free to pick up any of those tonight if you want, but I'd love to sell out the Bloodbath Double Features. That's what we're doing. If we sell them out tonight, the Bloodbath Double Feature will be matched tonight. It will be matched. Looks like we got just a donation, which was awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. So let's sell it out tonight. There are just 9 more of the Bloodbath Double Feature. Let's see here. Just 9 more there, folks. Brandon Barry sends in $10. Thank you, Brandon. Says, Dave, do you think with the success of Talk to Me and Shelby Oaks, made by YouTube personalities, studios will be looking at projects like the house on Port Robinson Road? I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, I mean, I think, I hope so. I think that bodes well, obviously. I mean, what do I want to say? So I think with horror and where horror is today and the kind of film that the house on Port Robinson Road is, I think there's a lot of potential if it gets into the right hands and if I have an opportunity to sell it, to really sort of pitch it. You know what I mean? And sort of the vision behind it and what I'm thinking. Yeah, I do. And obviously with the success of Talk to Me and we don't know what Shelby Oaks is. I mean, the fact that Shelby Oaks has been made is a success. Whether it will be a success at the box office or not, I don't know. Critically, we don't know yet. But certainly just by virtue of somebody who has, now, the difference, though, between the Filippo brothers or whatever, I forget their names, the difference between them and Chris Stuckman and me in terms of YouTube personalities is they have way more influence and reach than I do. So they have they have millions of subscribers and a laundry list of, and so it is advantageous and smart for studios they're influencers. And so, and studios will use influencers, sometimes even putting them in movies because they know that they have millions of Instagram followers or millions of, whatever the case is. And so it's almost free marketing, in some ways. And so for me, I'm still a very small, I'm a big channel. But I'm a small, it's relative, right? You know what I mean? It's small in the big picture, right? And so, but I'm also a working professional in the entertainment industry. So that, not as a filmmaker full-time yet, but certainly I've been working in the entertainment industry for 24 years. And so I understand the business. I understand agents and managers and publicists and acting and I understand the world. Obviously, there's still stuff I'm learning. I don't know everything. I mean, you can be in this business a long time and not know everything. And there's still certain facets of the business that I'm still learning about, right? But I don't come at this as just a YouTuber that's just sitting at home having fun and wants to make a movie. There is a little bit, not a little bit, there's some experience in terms of the business behind me, which I think will help as well. But yeah, if in terms, I don't know if they would see me as a YouTuber because I'm much smaller than the Filippo brothers or whatever their names are, and Chris, I'm kind of tiny in comparison to them. I don't know if they would see that as a win. Oh, I don't really know. I think more do you know what I mean? But you never know. It depends on who you're talking to. It depends on who you're talking to, what the conversations are. And so, but it bodes well. It bodes well, right? Because certainly, my online presence in terms of my personality is YouTube. Like there are many people that find me and don't even know that I'm a voice actor, right? I mean, so there are people so this channel has done wonders and done really well for me in order to just meet people and meet all different kinds of people. So it's very important. It's an important channel. And it definitely will have weight and sway. But at the end of the day, in comparison to those guys, I'm not really sure whether it would, but certainly their success won't hurt me, right? Their failures might hurt me, maybe, but maybe not because I'm so small in comparison, right? But certainly their successes won't. And so I wish Chris Stuckman the best of luck, and I hope it's a good movie, and I hope that it resonates with fans, and because obviously, I am looking forward to being in a position where I can pitch this and get it moving, which would be awesome. So how are we doing? Are we going to sell this out tonight, folks? Are we going to sell this out tonight? There has to be 9 people watching right now. 9 people watching right now that have not. Oh, hang on a sec. Oh, come on. There's got to be 9 people watching right now that have yet to pick up the perk, that want to pick up the perk. For some reason, Indiegogo is Maybe it's because everybody's crashing the site. No. But yeah. Geeked Out Turtle Fan says, Dave, you're the best channel besides those Slaughtered Lamb guys. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So no, nobody's picked it up yet. Come on, folks. We can do it. There's not too many people in the chat room tonight, probably because of the topic, and that's okay. That's okay. One day the movie will be released, and you'll be like, oh, I should have got in on that. I should have got in on that. I could have had a chance to get in on that, and I didn't because I thought, but, oh, there it is. Oh, my God, I get to watch it. There's got to be 9 people. There's nearly 50 people that are watching. There's got to be 9 of you right now that want to pick up the Bloodbath Double Feature. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. Let's do it, because if we sell the remaining 9 out tonight, the anonymous donor will match it. And I would love to match it tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I would love to match it tonight. And you can pick up any other perk you want to pick up as well. I mean, you don't have to do that. You can pick up any other one you want. But there it is. Just 9 left right there. Just 9 left right there. I wonder if Dave would make a VHS version of the house on Port Robinson Road, sort of like Stranger Things did retro-esque. Well, that wouldn't be up to me. I mean, that's the thing, right? That would be very cool if whoever is in charge of distribution wants to do that. I mean, again, the reason why I'm doing a development funds and not a production budget funds is because this movie is probably going to cost a few $1 million. And I don't feel raising that kind of money on Indiegogo with my reach is next to impossible. And so I don't know who will be in charge of distribution. This is a very different game, a very different ballpark. And so there's, I have no idea. I might just direct it, produce it, and, hopefully have as much say as I can. But when it comes to distribution and physical media and all that kind of stuff and artwork, I may have no say. Or I may have a say. It all depends on what you negotiate, what's in the contract. But yeah, you never know. Chester Franklin says, who will be the 9 people right now? Only 9 left. Only 9 left. Again, if we sell out the remaining 9 tonight, the anonymous donor will match the 13 we've sold. Will match the 13 we sold over the weekend, which would be awesome. I'd love to do it. Ryan says, come on, guys, let's do this for Dave. 9 perks. Got just 9, $36 US, about that. Again, if you can't make it that night, don't worry. If you're serious about it, you can pick it up and you will get the link because you picked up the perk, so you will get the link. The link is not going to disappear after the live show is done. You will still be able to watch it after the fact. Emma, what's going on, my fellow Canuck? Moonstoned Emma says, who doesn't want to hear Dave make fun of Judith's boyfriend, a.k.a. One Pump Chump, on Halloween night? Am I right? Come on. Although, is he in Rob Zombie's Halloween too? I don't know if he is. I know what you mean, though. And Jamie Lee Curtis says, the keys are the keys. Come on, guys. Well, we're not watching those 2 movies, though, just to be clear. Or maybe you're just saying that as a general thing. We're watching Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and Halloween Kills, just as a reminder. Brian Webb says, hey, Dave, like your channel. Were you a fan of the Street Fighter game? And what do you think of the live action movie? I played the Street Fighter game way back in the day, but I don't think I ever watched the live action movie. I don't think I did anyway. I'm not entirely sure. Evil Alex says, would you change stuff to have made, or rather don't made it at all if changes by a studio are part of the deal? Well, again, it depends on what look, because I don't have a lot of leverage, because this would be my first feature film, you have to be prepared to negotiate. Now, it's always possible that whoever is producing and willing to make the movie looks at the script, has conversations with you, really likes you, likes what they can make it for. So we can make this for $4 million. Okay. Well, it's not that bad, not that expensive. And maybe the studio, I don't want to say meddling, but, partnership might be limited, even though it's your first feature. They may be like, whatever the case is, right? The vibe from you, how clear you are with your vision. Are you confident? Are you competent? Are you capable? Are you saying all the right things? Are you, do your actions come through and not just your words? So maybe it won't be too bad, but you have to be prepared as well, because it is my first feature, to be able to, compromise, and there may be some things that they want to see more of or less of, or can we do a little bit of this and maybe a little bit of that? And then I have to look at it and I have to figure out, does doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that sacrifice the integrity of the story? Does it sacrifice the integrity of the vision for the film? Does it sacrifice, the whole sort of tone and genre and, whatever the case is? And if the answer is no, and I'm like, nah, you know what? I'm okay with that. I get that. Sure. Why not? Then okay. What I'm not willing to sacrifice is doing a 180, changing it. Like, The House on Port Robinson Road is a psychological horror drama, is what it is. It's not Terrifier. It's not a found footage movie. It's not a slasher movie. It's not The Conjuring. It's not a jump scare a minute with crazy wild CGI and special effects. It's not like that. And if somebody wanted to if it was like, yeah, we'll give you $5 million, but you have to turn it into this, well, then the answer is no. The answer is no, because that doesn't make any sense. If you like my movie, why are we changing it now you're changing it to something it isn't? I can understand, oh, you know what? Can we do a little more of this? A little more of that. Maybe can we do this with that character? Can you develop this character just a little bit more? I can understand those kinds of things because, the film stays relatively the same. It's the same movie. You've just, added a little bit of this. Maybe you boosted that up, maybe made their arc a little, more defined or something, or, whatever the case is. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Of course, those are natural things that maybe you talk about. Those are things that you develop a bit further and things like that. But I'm not willing to change the fundamental foundation of the film, because then that makes no sense to me. Then just go make that movie. Why do you need my movie to make that movie? You're changing the movie then, right? Then it's not The House on Port Robinson Road anymore. It's The Conjuring 6. You know what I mean? It's like that's not what this is. Just go make The Conjuring 6 then, right? And so I'm not willing to sacrifice that. That's a hard no. But with the position that I'm in terms of where I am on the filmmaking chain, right? I have to be willing to have those conversations, and you never know. It could be minimal. It could be, no, Dave, we really like all of this. We just want you to do this and that. And we're like, well, that's amazing. Or it could be a slew of things they want to, tinker. I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when it comes. All right. Are we still sitting there? Come on, folks. We can do it. We can do it. Are we still sitting at 9? Are we still sitting at 9? We need to sell out all remaining 9 tonight. Come on, folks. We're still at 9. There's 46 people in here. There's got to be 9 people that are willing to pick up the Bloodbath Double Feature. Come on, folks. You can do it. You can do it. Put your back into it. You know you can do it. Frankly Speaking says they could give me Starbucks gift card and I would do whatever. Well, that's fine, Frank. That's fine. If I wasn't emotionally, if it was just something I had written and I wasn't emotionally attached to it, it wasn't inspired by true events, it was just something I made up, sure, maybe, to get something made at that level, sure. But not this. Not this. Not this. So just to be clear, there's no potential for a sequel. I would say that, look, you can always make a sequel to anything if you want, right? You can. I mean, you can make a sequel to anything. But I would say that the intention behind it is not to have a sequel. Now, I don't want to say it's a negative. I'll say that's not, like, a lot of studios like the idea of sequels because they like franchises and IPs because it's about making us money, right? And they can continue to make money. I can't say that you can't make a sequel to The House on Port Robinson Road, but The House on Port Robinson Road is very much old school in the sense of that, like, I miss the days where, there's nothing wrong with having just one good movie. It's not, it's like having The Green Mile 2, or The Shawshank Redemption 2. Like, you would never think to do that. Could you do that? Sure. I guess we could find out what Andy and Red were doing on the, the ocean, and then they get into some, like, I guess, like, you could, but it's the film is not designed that way. It's not meant to be that way. It's not a slasher movie with a villain where you can have the villain continue on. And it's not that kind of a movie. You know, it's like I said, it's very much the tone and the feeling and the mood and the atmosphere, not the story. So don't think of the stories of these movies, but just the tone. You know, think of The Others and, you know, Longlegs or The Witch or The Ritual or, you know, those kinds of like just that eerie tone, you know, and it's paired with the emotional, philosophical, and existential sort of undercurrents of movies like Arrival, right? And Contact, right? And so when you think of that, you know, there is no Arrival 2, Contact Part 2, you know, and why isn't there? Because there's in these kinds of movies, there's a large emotional thread that sort of runs through it. And once your characters reach that climax and they reach the sort of the summit of their arcs, it's it. Like, it's just, that's the story. It's not a slasher movie, right? It's a horror movie, yes, but it's a psychological horror drama. You know what I mean? And so, and maybe some of you out there are disappointed by that. I don't know, but I've been very clear about what this is and what it isn't from the very beginning. And so, but I think there's real potential for this kind of thing. I'm not saying, I don't know whether it'd be, you know, successful, but I think there's real potential for this because it is, you know, it's got more meat on the bone and it can be a moving experience as well. Now, could you make a sequel to it? Well, I guess you could. I mean, but if you knew the story, you'd go, yeah, like, why? You know, it's not that kind of movie. If you want a movie where there's sequel potential, it wouldn't be The House on Port Robinson Road. I'd have to come up with something different, like, you know, I don't know, Razor Man, you know what I mean? And then you just make and then we'll make like Razor Man 2 and 3 and 4 and, you know, and then you have, you know, that, yeah, leave that, you know, but it's not that kind of movie, right? You know, and so there's reasons why, you know, you don't make sequels to films that have large emotional sort of through lines with their characters because their story's done. You know, and so it's kind of over. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that my movie is going to be just as amazing as those movies. I have no idea. I haven't made it yet, right? All I'm saying is that as the writer, not just the director, but as the writer and as the person who went through it, because again, it's inspired by true events. Obviously, I had to take creative liberties in order to tell the story that I wanted. But I always wanted it to be more than just a haunted house film. Like it's not really, it is that, but it's not just that. And when you read the synopsis on the campaign, that really shows it. Like you kind of go, yeah, there is more. I mean, there's so much I haven't said, of course, because I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but you know, it's there's more to it than that. And again, that's not me saying like, please, I don't want to set up unrealistic expectations. I'm not saying that this is going to be the greatest thing of all time. It's going to change the face of cinema. That's not what I'm saying. Because you know, there's people out there that are probably thinking that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to paint a picture of sort of what it is without spoiling the movie. Do you know what I mean? But I'm very proud of it. I think it's very relevant in today's more psychological, elevated horror market. And, you know, between A24 and Neon, and they are delivering that kind of horror. And that kind of horror is, I mean, not everything hits, right? There's some misses, but it's hot right now. And more studios may want to get in on that, you know, kind of try their hand in that more meat on the bone. Horror, because you can always do 1,000 Friday the 13th, but so and just so we're clear, it was always going to be that way. Like I didn't finish or write The House on Port Robinson Road to be that way because elevated horror is hot right now. You ask my college friends 25 years ago, it was that I always wanted it to be that way. And the reason was because of the emotional journey that we were all going through as young kids. the things that we were talking about and the conversations that we were having and how that experience affected our lives was a big part of the journey and a big part of what I wanted to bring to the story. And so, within the confines of a horror movie, again, I mean, this isn't Shawshank, within the confines of a horror movie. I mean, I still need to entertain, of course, right? But I wanted to bring a little bit of that, not a little bit, but I wanted to bring that into it as well. And so, there's an emotional beat to it too. It's not a found footage movie. It's not just like a bunch of college kids that go to this haunted house and experience the word don't EVP and crazy shit happens. There's more to it than that. I'm not saying it's like, Shawshank. I'm just saying there's more to it than just what I think some people have thought it was going to be. Because some people have even said, well, how do you make a whole movie around a don't EVP? And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. The don't EVP is just the only thing I've let you hear. I said, no, there's way more. The don't EVP is a part of it, but it's not like, it's just a small part of the film. Right. And so, but anyway, yeah. So, it's the way it goes. But yeah, so are we still sitting at 9? There's nobody out there right now that wants to help us sell out these 9 perks, ladies and gentlemen. 9 perks. Are we going to get there? I don't know. I have no idea. We're still sitting at 9, ladies and gentlemen. We're still sitting at 9. Well, maybe the people have spoken. Maybe the people are like, nah, we're done, man. We're done. I will be honest. It will be disappointing to get to this and not, I'm just like, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's the way it is. Hey, Mandel, what's going on? Yes, we will do that. We're going to do that closer to Halloween. Let me see here. Josh says they could make a sequel to anything, even though the director doesn't want them to. Halloween Ends could have the ghost of Myers haunting the survivors and Freddy Kruegerize them. It's true. And also too, again, it depends on what you negotiate. How much am I willing to give up? Right. And so, who owns the IP at that point, right? And how much ownership will I have in the house on Port Robinson Road if it was picked up by a studio and if they wanted to make it and it was funded that way and I didn't have to go the independent way and the private way to do it. If it was picked up by a studio, what's the contract, right? How much control do I, maintain after everything's done, right? And so, you got to think about those things as well. So it may be completely out of my hands. It may be not up to me. No, we're going to do a sequel to The House on Port Robinson Road. They may give me first right of refusal. They may say, do you want to do it? If it's successful, right? If it's successful, they may say, do you want to do it? And I don't know. I think some filmmakers do it just to have the control and because they don't feel confident in releasing it out of their hands. But is it the right thing to do? Because if you make a subpar sequel that really doesn't need to be made, then your name is also attached to that. Some directors may bow out and go, well, they might ruin it by making a sequel, but at least my name is not on it, and my name is on the best one. You could play it that way too. But I will say that The House on Port Robinson Road is not that kind of a horror movie. It doesn't need a sequel. Like I don't know what you would do. I mean, you could make a sequel that's like maybe in the same universe where now you're following like, I don't know, a different set of kids and they have like a different paranormal thing. Like I guess you could do that maybe, but like the same kids, that doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me because it's not designed that way. But yeah. Come on, folks, we can do it. Bloodbath Double Feature, ladies and gentlemen, the Bloodbath Double Feature. Again, if we sell the remaining 9 tonight on the campaign, the anonymous donor who is watching live will match it. I want to match it tonight, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I want to do. Let's do it. Inferio says, hey, Dave, there is a good possibility that most of us in attendance have already picked up the perk. And that's true, too. That is true, too. You're absolutely correct. And that just kind of goes back to what I'm saying in the sense of that, you know what? Most most of you have probably already picked up the Perk, and which is kind of the situation, right? I mean, and then you're kind of like, well, I don't really know I don't want to pick up another Perk. Well, you could pick up something else. I don't know if the donor would match it, because the agreement was the the Bloodbath Double Features, but no, that's a very good point that you make. It's a very good point to make, because there's only 50 people in here, right? And so, and I get it. Like, I totally understand it. When I'm crowdfunding and when it's, because somebody said to me not too long ago, they were, I forget what stream it was on. Maybe it was a super chat. I can't remember, but they were disappointed that when I'm talking about the house on Port Robinson Road, I don't get like 100 people in here. Although I think we did have 100 people the last time we did the matching, but that was because it was going to put us in demand. And something that, I responded and I said, look, it doesn't bother me. It's understandable, because the house on Port Robinson Road doesn't have a pop culture footprint. Nobody knows what that is, right? Because it's in development. And it's not anything right now. It doesn't have a sexy villain, right? It doesn't have like an Art the Clown or a Michael Myers. It doesn't have an antagonist. It's not that kind of a horror movie. So it's not like I can have something to sell, right? Oh, look at this cool design and this antagonist. Well, people are like, oh, they get really on board with that, right? It doesn't have that. Because it's in development, there's only so much I can talk about, right? And believe it or not, I've talked about a lot. I've talked about a lot, believe it or not, even though I haven't talked about hardly anything. And so it's difficult, right? And people are always weary about campaigns and what's going on. And, if you haven't followed me for very long, this might be new. And what is this? Who's this Dave McRae raising funds? And, why is he doing this? Why doesn't he just pay for this himself? I mean, I've gotten that too. And it's like, well, but you don't understand that you don't understand the whole point of crowdfunding. I mean, why doesn't Steven Spielberg just fund his own movies? I mean, there's reasons why people don't do that, right? And so, yeah. And so there's a little bit of kind of, why, there's a learning curve for people that maybe haven't followed me for, a long time. And what's the development funds, all that kind of stuff. So it's tricky to get, there's a lot of explaining. There's a lot of explaining that goes into this. And the fact that we've been able to raise 22,207 Canadian on a development funds campaign is absolutely incredible. But we do have that 30,000 stretch goal that I really want to get to. And I want to see all your sexy faces, well, all your sexy avatars, on the Bloodbath Double Feature. So there's 9 left to go. But you're right. Maybe a lot of you or all of you have already picked it up, which is entirely possible. And if that's the case, that is okay. We're down to 9, right? So, well, that'll be the donor will at least match that, right? We'll at least match that. You know what I mean? Which is always good. Let me see here. Evil Alex says Black Phone 2 looks actually really good, with the haunting revenge ghost villain story. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to rush out to see it. It was shot up here. I actually had a chance to visit the set. No, I didn't go to the set. I had an opportunity to visit the set, which didn't follow through or didn't come to fruition. But a mutual connection that Bruce and I have was, I don't think he was working on Black Phone 2. He knew the studio, he knew where it was shooting or something. Anyways, last November, Bruce and I were on set of a Canadian television series. We went down to this new studio that is run by a former colleague that Bruce works with. And so he's running this studio now with sets and all that kind of stuff. And so we went down there to check it out and watch things being done. And he had said that the Black Phone 2 is currently shooting. They had booked out studio space in Hamilton, which is just a city about 40 minutes away from Toronto. And, but they were on hiatus at the moment, or they were I think they were on hiatus for like 2 weeks or something. And he said like the sets were amazing. Like you walk in and all the different sets, like Blumhouse put in like millions of dollars, and the set decoration, the set design, and it was just, I mean, the set dressing was just wild. And he was going to take us through. We'd have to sign waivers, and he was going to take us through. But it didn't end up happening, and I forget why. And it wasn't because we weren't allowed. It just our schedules didn't align or something like that. I can't remember. But that would have been really cool. But yeah, he said it looked awesome. So that was last November, I think. Last November or December. But yeah, just a really, really cool. But I'd say that the phone, the black phone too. Yeah, it looks promising. I like the black phone. I didn't love it. I liked it though, but I didn't love it. I don't think it needed a sequel, but it made a lot of money. But there's a perfect example, right? You know, the black phone with the grabber, right? There's an antagonist. That's the only thing too, is that I could see working with, you know, again, those are conversations that I might have to have, right? Well, you know, how come you don't have like a villain? You know, it's like, well, because it's not that kind of movie. you know what I mean? It's very different. I can't say too much. I don't want to give too much away, but don't let that, you know, again, the house on Port Robinson Road, in my estimation, because I wrote it, is very scary. It's scary. It's seeping with mood and atmosphere. There's a thunderstorm with lightning and thunder, and it is dripping with Dave McRae mood and atmosphere. It's just not, you know, it's not a slasher. You know, it's not The Conjuring. You know, there's no demons. There's no walls bleeding or tiptoe through the window by the fire. You know, which, by the way, I don't say that I love Insidious. The first Insidious is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I love the first The Conjuring. Love them. They're just different kinds of haunted house movies. You know what I mean? This is more The Others, and it's not like The Others either, but it's more like that than it would be, you know. And I don't say that like, don't think of the story. I'm not saying it's the same as the story. I just mean in terms of tone and that kind of stuff. But it's dripping with mood and atmosphere. Let me see. Ryan, Josh Stevens says, Ryan. Oh, he's talking to Ryan. Yes. Let's see here. Thomas says, hey guys, Steven from Craven Something Scary has passed away today. Oh, I know the channel name. That's too bad. That's unfortunate. I don't know. I didn't know him personally, but the channel name rings a bell. I'd have to go to the channel to see what he looked like, but that's very sad. Well, if that's true, and I'm not saying it isn't, but if it is, my condolences to his family and his friends. That's very sad to hear. That's unfortunate. God damn it, man. Life is so short, isn't it? Life is so short, man. Yeah. Tiptoe through the window. And I love the first Insidious. Love it. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. But yeah, The House on Port Robinson Road is not that. And when I say it's not that, I don't mean that in a disparaging way. Like my movie's so much. No, I don't mean that. I just mean that it's different. Like there's different kinds of haunted house ghost stories. Mine's more, it's got a classical sort of feel to it, you know, but cause it's not, you know, there's no like demons and people's throats being ripped or, you know, it's not that kind of movie. Warren says, how is your voiceover work going, Dave? It's going very well. Thank you for asking, Warren. Yeah, no, it's going good. Can't complain. It's going good. Ryan says, Dave, do you have a favorite voice acting character that you had a ball voicing? Oh, well, I mean, in terms of animation, I would say, there was a show that never came to fruition called Worry Eaters, and this sometimes happens in the entertainment business. It's not unprecedented. It's almost like a Batgirl situation, but not for the same reasons. About 7 or 8 years ago, maybe a bit longer, maybe it was 2016. That was 7 or 8 years. No, 20, maybe, God. So it's almost been 10 years. There was, I booked a show called Worry Eaters, and it was based on a line of toys. Very cute. I thought it was great. And it was these little dolls that had zippers for mouths. And the idea was for little kids, they would write down their worries. You know, their things I'm worried about, you know, my homework. I'm worried about, you know, going to school, you know, tomorrow, or, you know, whatever the case is. They'd write it down and they would fold it up and they'd put it into the Worry Eater's mouth. And the Worry Eater would eat the worries away. You know, it was cute. You know, it was a very cute line of toys. And you could probably Google them. They're probably, if you type in Worry Eaters, I'm sure they're there. Anyways, they were going to do a cartoon, which I thought was really cool. And I booked an audition, booked the role. I was going to play a couple of characters. We recorded, there was going to be 100 episodes. They had written 100 episodes. And we recorded 30 of them, I want to say, something like that. And the animation studio that was doing the animation, and I thought the animation looked fine, looked great, but the production company was not happy with it. And the production company was, I think, based out of Germany, and they were not happy with it at all. And there was a back and forth, and eventually shit hit the fan and they shut down the project. And there was no reason to not be happy with this animation, in my estimation. It looked great. Looked like anything you would see in that age group in terms of, like, you know, the 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old age group. Looked amazing. Like, it looked amazing. I thought it was fantastic. Totally pro. Like, it looked absolutely fine. So it wasn't shut down because of the voice acting. It had nothing to do with the performances or anything like that. But sometimes that's not unprecedented. I was really disappointed about that because that was a project I was really excited about. And there were quite a few characters I was playing on that were a ball to play. Currently, though, stuff that's been released, I had a ball playing Helmut Hugo, of course, on Lana Longbeard. Now, Lana Longbeard, I don't think has been released in the US yet. It's in the UK right now. It's in France right now. Warner Brothers Discovery is distributing it abroad. Here in Canada, it's CBC Gem and Family Channel. It is coming to I know Cartoon Network overseas has it. I think it's supposed to be coming to the US very soon. So look out for Lana Longbeard. Helmut Hugo was a ball to voice on that show. Whether we'll get a second season, I don't know. We did 52 episodes. I'm not sure. But he was a ball. He was a ball to voice. And it was so great because you don't see his face ever. You just see his eyes, you know? And so he kind of reminds me of Ram Man from Masters of the Universe. He's got like this big helmet and these big kind of arms. And he was a lot of fun. I would love to play him again. Earlier this year, I did wrap up doing season 4 of Deer Squad. I think season 3 or 2 is on Paramount Plus and Amazon Prime, I think. I'm not in those because I hadn't been hired yet. With season 4, they did a turnover with some of the voice actors, whether it was contract or the actors were busy, I don't know. But I was brought in for an audition to audition for a couple of roles on season 4 of Deer Squad. That is supposed to be airing in November, I think. We wrapped months ago, and animation, it always takes like a couple years, you know, with animation. But we wrapped, I started doing that like last summer, 2024. And I wrapped like late last year, and I think it's coming out November this year. Whether it's going right to Paramount Plus or it's going somewhere else first, I'm not sure. But I play Ian the Duck and Trick Alien in season 4 of Deer Squad, taking over for another voice actor. That was, those are two characters that were a lot of fun. And then, of course, being part of the Barney universe is amazing. The iconic Barney franchise, which is great. Now, I'm not part of the show. I think Barney's World, the series is on HBO Max right now. And I think it just went to Netflix. So the series is on Netflix right now. I'm not on the series. But I'm part of the broader universe. I was hired to be the brand voice of the character of Billy, or you might know him as BJ, the yellow dinosaur. Now, BJ, the name was changed it should be self-explanatory why in 2025. But I learned, having to take over the role, I learned that the character was based on one of the producer's fathers or something, and his name was Brian James. Billy James or something like that. So the B in BJ stands for Billy. So maybe that'll give some of you that are upset about that at least a little bit of solace, knowing that they didn't completely change it. They just revealed his name. But I've received a lot of back. I've had people, since I've posted clips of me playing Billy on some of the shorts that they've done. So anytime that they'll do like shorts or little music videos or toys even or things like that, I've been hired to be the brand voice of Billy, and as a part of the Barney's World universe, which is really great because of course Barney is I didn't watch him growing up. It wasn't my thing. And I might've been a little too old actually, but certainly he's an iconic brand. I mean, whether you like him or not, we all know Barney the Purple Dinosaur. And so to be a part of that was really, really cool. And so, yeah, that's really cool. And then, Super Wings. I was a part of season 8 and season 9 of Super Wings, playing all sorts of different characters on that. I'm not like a one constant on each episode. They bring me in to play, the dinosaur or the dad, or it's play this character or that character. I'm sort of a guest star in a lot of the Super Wings episodes. I think season 9 is out now. I think that's just YouTube though. I think that goes to YouTube if I'm not mistaken. I think. But yeah, so yeah, no, it's going well. I mean, the animation is going well. And then I just did a few commercials for some for the Lotto Max here in Canada, which of course is the big sort of lottery thing. I did a bunch of ads for them for that. And then I just did a big audition for something that I can't talk about, but it's a very big audition. I don't know if I'm going to get it because it's the kind of audition that a lot of people will be auditioning for this. But it was cool to have the audition come my way nonetheless. And when I know I didn't get it, or I did get it, one of the two, I will let you know what that audition was. But it's very cool indeed. Very cool indeed. But yeah, Josh McKenna says, are you interested in one battle after another? Yeah, I don't think I'll go to the theater to see it necessarily, but I'll watch it. Sure. I like Leonardo DiCaprio. He's great. One of my favorite actors right now working. All right. Has anybody come to the rescue? Anybody? We are still, nope. Somebody donating $10. That's okay. That's all right. That's good. That's good. There's 65 people in here right now. Maybe now's a good time to remind people what we're doing tonight. So there are 9 Bloodbath Double Features left. Just 9. Don't leave, folks. Don't leave. There are just 9 left. And if we sell out the remaining 9 tonight, just about 36 US, that's the Bloodbath Double Feature right there. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. If we sell the remaining 9 tonight, the anonymous donor who was watching live will double it. We'll match it tonight. And it would be awesome to do that. Even if you can't make this show live because you're trick-or-treating with your kids or you have a Halloween party to go to, feel free to pick it up anyway because you will get an email with the link. So even if you can't watch it live, you'll be able to watch it after the fact. I'm dressing up for Halloween. I'm going to have munchies. We're watching Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and Halloween Kills, the 2 bloodiest in the franchise. Halloween night, Friday, October 31st, 2025, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, Dave, why are we still talking about this campaign? I don't understand. I thought you reached your goal. We did reach our goal. We reached the base development goal, the base goal we needed to get things moving. But let's not forget, there are, of course, 2 stretch goals. There are 2 stretch goals, and those are the stretch goals right there. So we reached our base goal, which you can see there with the red check mark. That was 20,000 Canadian, about 15,000 US. And then there's the next stretch goal. That's 30,000 Canadian, approximately 22,000 or 23,000 US. Now there's the top stretch goal, which of course is the 60,000 Canadian. I don't know if that's possible on a development funds campaign, but because we're already at 22,000 Canadian, there's no doubt in my mind that I think we can reach 30,000 Canadian, like at least our first stretch goal. I'm confident we can reach that first stretch goal for sure. So let's see what happens there. But tonight, what we're focusing on tonight, because there's no way we're going to reach our first, could you imagine we hit 30,000? What the hell just happened? Oh my God. No, but tonight the anonymous donor has been kind enough that they will double the Bloodbath Double, or however many we sell, right? I mean, at the end of the day, but I would love to sell. There's just 9 left. But to somebody's point who said earlier, there's 60 people in the chat right now. Those 60 people may have picked them up. You may have picked them up. But if you haven't, or if you want to buy it for a friend or, whatever the case is, feel free to do that as well. And you can pick up anything else on the campaign. The mystery envelope is a big one, folks. It's a big one. That mystery envelope is a really cool one. There's only 50 of those available, and we've sold 19 of those. And again, don't forget, you're seeing the prices in Canadian dollars. So for example, you might look at that and go, oh, I don't want to spend $50. Well, you won't, because most of my viewers, above 70% of you, are based in the US. That's only about $36 US, and even cheaper for you in the UK. Let me scroll down here. Have I missed any other super chats? I don't think I have. I just want to make sure I haven't. One new member, just 2 super chats came in. I believe so. Yes. Okay, good. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Where are you guys? There you guys are. Okay. Good show tonight, though. Clasp Noodles Awakening says, which is more violent, Halloween 5, 6, 7, 209, or Kills? Well, the reason why I'm watching Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and Kills is because, according to online, they are the two most violent in the franchise. They are the 2 most violent in the franchise. And that is ultimately why I am watching them. So I would say that it is Halloween 09, or Halloween 209, and Halloween Kills. Josh says, Dave, will you have trick-or-treaters come to your door during the stream? No. I will not, because there's not a lot of kids. A lot of kids have grown up, and I usually, when I turn out the lights, and it usually means that nobody's home. So no, I won't. But that's a good question, though. That's a good question. Warren Armour says, is there a voice you absolutely hate? You mean like a character I played? No, or like a voice, like somebody's voice online or something. No, there isn't a character that I played that I don't like. Yeah, I've done so much over the years. More than people realize. Like, there's something to people. Yeah, I've done a lot, folks. I've done a lot. The bulk of my work, like, it's only the last 7 or 8 years that I've been focusing a lot on animation. The bulk of my work comes from the commercial, trailer, and promo side. And so there's a lot of stuff that you've probably heard me on, but didn't realize it was me. And don't forget, just because I'm based here in Canada doesn't mean that I don't do commercials and promos that also reach internationally as well. I've done many ads that appear in the States. There was about 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, there was a big campaign I did for Slim Jim. I did a bunch of Slim Jim ads that I think they appeared in AMC theaters, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, there's a lot of, I get a lot of US buyers and auditions and all that kind of stuff, and Canada as well, of course, because I'm based here. But yeah, no, my agents work internationally, as a lot of agents do. Let me scroll down here. Ever did any voices for a video game? I have. Not like the video games you're probably asking about. No, but I've done a couple of mobile games. I have. Ryan says, Dave, do you have a favorite director that you had the pleasure of working with as both an actor and a voice actor? Well, as an on-camera actor, I'd say no, just because my experience was very limited because I broke my teeth. So I didn't have as much time. But there's a lot of parallels between voice acting and on-camera acting. There's a lot of differences too. Just because you can do one doesn't mean you can do the other. But I can do both. And there's a lot of parallels with voice directors and on-camera directors. There's differences as well. But yes, there are some voice directors that I've worked with that are amazing. And I will say that Susan Hart, who's one of the top animation voice directors in Canada, is splendid. She is amazing. Joanne Borm is amazing. I worked with her on Deer Squad and Dee Shipley. Dee Shipley, who I worked with on Lana Longbeard. Why am I blanking on this? Lana Longbeard, and I also worked with her on why am I blanking? There's another one I did. Anyways, Jesus. She's amazing. And these are like seasoned, the best of the best. And they're just so good at what they do. They're so good at what they do. You notice a difference. When you're working with somebody who, they've worked on shows that, they're just so seasoned. They're Emmy nominated, Emmy winning. They're so seasoned, so good at what they do. And you notice the difference when you step behind, when you step into a booth and you step behind the microphone and you're getting directed by, seasoned directors that know what they're doing, know how to direct actors at the same time, I also know how to take direction. Not every actor is good at taking direction. Not every director is good at giving direction. But they're just great. So yes, they're happening. And same in the commercial world as well. When it comes to commercial and promo, there's great directors there too. And I've worked with some that are, I've also had experiences where there's too many chefs in the kitchen. It's a 15-second tag at the end of a Tic Tac ad, and you got 13 people behind the glass all talking about, and you're thinking, why are you all here? Like, the engineer needs to be there, yes, because the casting director, perhaps the voice director, for sure, but the rest of you don't have to be there. And I've noticed that in my experience, what will sometimes happen is that people see it as a day. Like you have the ad agency there, and you have the company there, and the brand, and there's too many people, and they're all. I've been a part of stuff where people have just. It's not me. It's just they're in real time. They are rewriting in real time, and I'm waiting. Because I will record my stuff and then they'll ask me to wait out in the lobby, and I know what's happening. They're talking and arguing, and I don't know, you want to do that? Well, I don't know. Well, we're right now. I don't know. Because in the commercial world, it is so specific. It's not, when I can't even speak today. When you're talking about big brands like Nestle or Nike or, Under Armour or, Tic Tacs or, whatever the case is. When you're talking about big brands, Coca-Cola, it is so specific. The writing and the verbiage and the words that they use, and at face value you might just say, well, why don't you just use a synonym for this? Because the word is too long, so let's just use a synonym that shortens it. And therefore, that means we'll be able to get the read in 26.5 seconds, which will allow you to put the stinger at the end. And then now we have a 30. But then no, we can't use that. We need to use this word. We can't use the synonym. We have to use this word because of this. The commercial world is that's not hyperbolic. That is how ad agencies and brand agencies in the commercial world works. And to varying degrees, of course. I'm not saying it's like that with every, product or service, but it is. I've been a part of, I've been doing this for 25 years. I've been a part of some of the biggest brands in the world and I've been at some of the most amazing studios and been part of some of the behind the scenes stuff is, and I've also been part of the stuff where it's amazing. People are just like, it's so competent and everybody is firing on all cylinders. It's the entertainment business. Actors, they've been a part of sets that are shit shows and nobody knows what the fuck they're doing, even at the Hollywood level. And they've also been a part of sets that are amazing and everybody gets along and everything's firing and it's a well-oiled machine. And that's just the entertainment business, you know what I mean? And if you're in it long enough and you're a part of it long enough, you get to experience all that kind of stuff. And the voiceover world is no different. The voiceover world is one of the most important parts of the entertainment and corporate as well, but certainly one of the most important parts of the entertainment industry. But it's often misunderstood, unrecognized, and unappreciated because you're out of sight, you're out of mind. People don't realize there's a multi-billion-dollar industry dedicated to voiceover. Whether it's animation, narration, audiobooks, radio and television commercials, online commercials, movie trailers, network promos, game trailers. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's part of the acting world. It's acting. It's voice acting. Whether you're doing a commercial or an animated character, it's all voice acting. And so, it's pretty cool. But yes, I have worked with some great directors, and I have been a part of some projects where I'm just like I remember being a part of a project. Like I said, they were rewriting it in real time. They rewrote the whole script. And it's just crazy. It's crazy. And what should have been a half-hour session turned into like a 4-hour session. It's crazy. Anyway. All right. Are we going to get down to, I don't know. Do you think we're going to sell more tonight, folks? Do you think we will? Or maybe we won't. Maybe we won't. We're still sitting at, we're still sitting at 9. We're still sitting at 9. Well, that's okay. Like the other person said, maybe everybody in here has already picked it up. And if that's the case, well, that's the case. And that's where it's left. What do we got? We'll go a little bit longer. Let me see. Chester Franklin Jr. says, are you going to do voiceovers for trailers for movies, any upcoming film or movie that comes out next year? Nothing on the radar. So movie trailer voiceovers are very few and far between these days. I have been fortunate enough to do a number of them. I've posted a couple of them on my social media. I've done trailers for The Descent, The Crazies. I did a radio trailer for Get Out. I've done Disney Pixar. I did Inside Out. I've done Big Hero 6, The Box Trolls, Lego Ninjago movie. I did It Chapter 1 when that came out in 2017. And so, but those are, they're really promo, they're trailers because they wanted, for the horror stuff, The Descent, Get Out, they wanted the horror movie trailer voice. So it's a movie trailer for all intents and purposes, but they're also 30 seconds long. So it's more of a promo. And that's where kind of you see that now. Gone are the days of the movie trailer voice. And there's a number of reasons for that I could get into, but that's more of kind of a thing of the past. It's more of a 80s, 90s thing. Now, movie trailers don't tend to do that, and there's a variety of reasons for that. So I don't have any upcoming movie trailers that I'm doing because they don't really do that kind of thing. Now, it still is done, but not at the level that it was. And I was never one of the movie trailer guys. So there are guys that like Ashton Smith and of course Don LaFontaine, who of course passed away almost 20 years ago. But Ashton Smith is one of the big trailer guys today. You've heard his voice on a number of things. So there are guys that specifically do it. I've been fortunate enough that I can do the movie trailer voice. And I've been very fortunate to have been hired to do it, which is really cool and really awesome, on a number of big projects, which is really cool. So to have that under my belt is really awesome. But I'm not like one of the movie trailer guys. Do you know what I mean? That you know what I mean? So I can do it, can certainly do it, but I do a number of other things as well. Ashton Smith isn't doing animation. You know what I mean? He's not doing, Coca-Cola ads, you know what I mean? So no, nothing on the horizon, but you never say never. I mean, every now and then, I'll get something that comes in and maybe it'll be for a new film. So it does come down the pipe every so often, but not at the moment. Josh says, Dave, it would be an incredible viral video if you opened your door to trick-or-treaters in fully Freddy makeup. Throw the hello, kids. Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah, that's, I couldn't do that myself, unfortunately. I couldn't put all that together myself, but that would be awesome. That would be awesome. That would be really cool. Let me see. Guitarist Dog says, this is an unpopular opinion, but I think Kane Hodder upped his game as Jason in Manhattan despite the shit makeup in New Blood. He was too emotional and dramatic in his movements and expressions. I'll take your word for it. I obviously have seen both movies, but I haven't seen both movies recently enough or often enough to be able to make that distinction. So very cool. Very cool. Cool indeed. Awoken Nightmare says, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on Hollywood actors getting animated voice work over voice actors. I realize it's a name recognition decision, but does it rub you the wrong way or is it a non-issue? I'm not going to say it's a non-issue, but I'll say that it's sort of like we understand why. Do you know what I mean? And from a business and marketing perspective, now it wasn't always like that. Right? I mean, voice actors, specific voice actors, used to do all the movies way back in the day. You know what I mean? Like your Snow Whites and your Cinderellas and your, but one of the big changes, I think it might have happened a little bit before this, but one of the big changes happened when Robin Williams did the genie in Aladdin in 1993. And of course the industry changes as well and marketing changes and trends change and all that kind of stuff. But with Robin Williams, I mean, it's almost unfair to single him out because he was a bona fide performer. He was just an actor. He could do it. He could do it. Having Ellen DeGeneres in Finding Nemo or Brad Pitt in Sinbad, I mean, it's just stupid. I mean, it's just not that they were terrible, but but the reason why is because, voice acting is acting. And it's not that these actors are terrible, but that's not why they're there. They're there specifically. I mean, look, if you get Jack Black, you get Robin Williams, right? You get these, there are certain actors, certain performers where it makes sense, right? But then sometimes, you get actors you're like, okay, that doesn't make it. There's no reason for this other than the name, the branding, right? The branding. And that's why they do it. And so where you will see, professional voice actors, of course, is in still the animation series, right? You'll see them on, your Simpsons, your Family Guys, your Lana Longbeards, your Deer Squads, your Barneys, right? You will see voice actors for the networks and for the shows because it's not reliant on name recognition, right? It's not reliant on box office numbers. It's not that these actors would do a better job than me. No, it has nothing to do with that. Quite frankly, I'm confident that I would destroy most of them. But nobody knows who I am. Right? Yeah, you know what I mean? And so they need the name recognition, right? They need the name recognition. And that's why. And does it bother me? Maybe a little bit, but I mean, but it doesn't, it's like most professional voice actors, and I think I can speak on behalf of most of us, understand it because it's business. Like we understand the business. Yeah, it sucks it went that way. But it is what it is. We get it. We understand it. Hey, we still dominate television and streaming, right? You know what I mean? And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And so, but when it comes to like major motion pictures and things like that, yeah. Now where voice actors, the professional voice actors, not the on-camera actors turned voice actor, where you will still see them in the big movies is often what you will see is when you're watching an animated film, during the credits, you will see a line that is called additional voices. So when you see additional voices, those are your voice actors. And the additional voices could be anything to a minor character that interacts with the main, lead for a scene or for, a moment. It could be the barking dog. It could be, the baby. It could be, sound effects, right? It could be, like it could be just walla, which is called walla, which is just sort of nonsensical, voices, dialogue. It could be like somebody who picks up the phone, right? Your lead picks up the phone and goes, hello. And you just hear, me go, just that kind of thing, right? Maybe they hire a voice actor to do that. They probably have actually sound effects to do that. So maybe that's a bad example, but it could be, the barking dog, a minor character, a bird, a person on the street that goes, oh my God, and usually they will hire these voice actors, not to just do one thing, to do a number of things in the film. And I did it with Deer Squad. So with Deer Squad, I play Ian the Duck and Trick Alien, right? But also while I'm there, Joanne, the director, also got me to do additional voices on each episode. So that could be, somebody that's like, whoa, look out, you know what I mean? Or whatever. And it's just my normal voice, or it could be the old man that's sitting on the park bench, holy cow, or something, right? Just little things like that, right? Now, again, it's a bit different because I'm also a lead on the show, but I just mean the principles are the same. So for the major motion pictures, they will often bring in voice actors to color the film. And that just means, people on the street, sound effects, barking dogs, crying babies, all that kind of stuff. Because there's a good chance that The Rock can't do that. There's a good chance that, I don't know, I don't know, Leonardo DiCaprio, whoever they get, right, can't do a good barking dog, or a sound effect, or, that kind of, it's a good chance that The Rock can't do that, So they bring in people like me, to come in. So when you're watching a major motion picture, whether it's Pixar or whether it's, I don't know, one of these big Disney films, whatever, pay attention to the credits. You will eventually see after, a certain point, you will see additional voices. And those are your hardworking voice actors that are brought in to bring color to the film. And so we get it. I mean, would we like to be the leads in a major motion picture for Disney Pixar? Sure. Yeah, we would. But we understand why it's Billy Crystal and John Goodman. We get it. We understand it. Billy Crystal, John Goodman. Yeah, we get it. And they're good. And don't get me wrong. I mean, they're professional actors and they're very good. Like, I'm not saying that they're all bad. They're not all bad. They're not all bad. They're very good. They're very good. But does it take away from the professionals that are trained in the art of voice acting specifically? It does. It does. But it's business. It's show business. Josh sends in $1.99. Thank you, Josh, and says Emma Myers is going to do a voice on Angry Birds 3. Yeah, I saw that when I was looking at her IMDb. I saw that. Yeah, she is. Good for her. That's awesome. Good for her. Yeah. I don't know if she's going to be a lead on that or not. I don't know if she has any voice acting experience or not. I don't know. But yeah, no, she is. She is. Just taking a look. Are we still at 9? I bet we are. That's okay, though. That's okay. I'm happy that we've at least made some adjustments. Yeah, we're still at 9. So we've at least made some adjustments. So that's where we're sitting at right now, folks. We're sitting at 22,217, 259 backers with 9 of the Bloodbath Double Features left. 9 of the Bloodbath Double Features left. Guitarist Dog says, do you know of the actor Damon Herman? He played Manson in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's my suggestion to play the new Freddy Krueger. Well, I wouldn't have known the name, but now that you mention who he is, I'd have to go back and look at him again. But to know whether or not I would agree. Let me see. What's the time? All right. Have I missed anything? No missed super chats, right? No missed super chats. No missed ats. I just want to make sure. Let me see. No. Okay. Good. All right. Okay. Well, we're sitting there at 22,217. So we've sold We've sold 1, 2, 3, 4. We've sold 4 over the last, let me see the calculator here. We've sold 4, right? 4 we've sold? Yes. Okay, so that would be 4. So that's 200 Canadian. So we've sold 200 Canadian. So if the anonymous donor is watching right now, then they are free to make a $200 Canadian donation to the campaign to bump us up to 22,417. I was hoping to sell out the Bloodbath Double Feature tonight to really kind of make a dent towards that, to put us into 23,000, to make a dent into getting us closer to the stretch goal, of course, of 30,000, but that's still pretty good. Still pretty good. Hey, every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. So, if the donor is watching, I will, they are free to do that now because we've hit, we're over an hour and a half now on the show. And so they are free to do that now. Oh, hang on a sec. Yeah, no. Yeah, you can go ahead. I just got an email from the donor. Yeah, no, you can go ahead. You can go ahead and do it tonight because it'd be nice to see people to see it go up by an extra $200, which would be awesome, which would be great. 200 Canadian. So yes, feel free to do that, and we'll just keep harking away. We'll keep harking away towards our stretch goal of 30,000 Canadian. That's the stretch goal. If we can get to 30,000 Canadian, that would be awesome. Not tonight, of course, but yeah. Let me see. Oh, no. Did I get that? No, it didn't. Okay. All right. Let me just see here. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. All right. We're still with that. It was something else. I was dealing with something else at the same time. All right. Let me go back over here for a moment so you can see my big head larger. 58 people in here. I just want to see if I missed anything. Dave is in his costume and munchies with the McRae's. Can't get any better than that. Exactly. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. Halloween night is going to be fun. I'm telling you. There's going to be people like, oh, I should have picked it up. Well, it's there. I'm just saying. Chester Franklin Jr. says Halloween 2 is more violent than 878. It is. That is true, Chester. That is true. Let me scroll back 1 second. Did I miss a super chat? Why does it look like I missed a super chat? I don't know why. Well, maybe not. Okay, no, maybe I didn't. Okay. Maybe I didn't. We'll see. Okay. I thought I did. Did I? I thought there's Josh has got 2 there. And then, wait a minute. Oh, no. Okay. No. It was Brandon Barry's, but I got it. Right. Okay. No, that's fair. All right. That is fair. Okay. So let me, hang on. I don't know if he's still watching. Let me go and, I'll just respond to him. I'll just do this. Just making, okay. Okay. All right, just responded to let him know that he can in case he's not watching and he's only checking his email. All right, there we go. So, what was I talking about? I was talking about, voiceover and voice acting. Yeah. But there was something. Oh, yeah, we were talking about the celebrities that are hired to do the big roles in these big animated films. Yeah, and some of them do a great job. Like some of them do a great job. And then some of them I'm like, yeah, no, you suck. You know? But name recognition, man, name brand. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. Chester Franklin Jr. says, I have watched some Halloween costume test videos before. People dressing up as Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy. Have you ever watched costume test videos before, Dave? Years ago, when I was really into the Michael Myers collecting and buying the masks and trying to get like the right knife and the right jumpsuit and all that. This is going back like 15 years ago. I used to watch people on YouTube, with their, and I would reach out to them and ask them, where did you get that mask and all that? And that's how I learned about Nicholas Art Gallery and James Carter and all these guys. And All Hallows Ghost, who was I think he was a Canadian. I think his name was Mike, who used to do these really authentic and really amazing independent Michael Myers masks. And so, yeah, but I haven't watched them in a long time. Like I'm not like, I have my masks now and I'm not really collecting it anymore, but I know that people do though. People do. And there's lots of great Freddy ones out there. You know, those silicone masks changed the game for Freddy. I don't know who the first one was to make those silicone masks, but they changed the game for, so the average consumer could look like Freddy. I mean, what I was able to achieve, or not me personally, but what I was so lucky to have done on Dylan's New Nightmare with the prosthetics and the makeup and 4 hours in the makeup chair with, Nora Hewitt and a mold done by Mikey Rotella. And I mean, it was just like, that's special treatment. Mikey Rotella worked on the monster at the end of the first Smile movie. Like, he's legit. He's worked on a ton of stuff. Nora Hewitt's legit, and so to be in that company and to have them do my makeup, I was very lucky and very fortunate. Not everybody gets that opportunity. And it's certainly not something I can just do myself or just do now because I don't have anything. And I wouldn't know how to do it even if I did. So it's very cool. And but the silicone Freddy masks changed the game. The silicone Freddy masks changed the game for the average consumer. Now, they're not cheap. They're not cheap. I mean, they're going to run you about $400 or $500 US, at least the last time I checked. Maybe they're cheaper now. I'm not sure. But and of course you could buy like a used one or whatever. And some of them are good. Some of them are, it depends on your build, right? And I say this with all due respect, but sometimes I've seen Freddy cosplayers where I'm like, yeah, I know who you're supposed to be because you're dressed as Freddy. You got the sweater, the hat, the mask, the glove. Like, I know who you're supposed to be. But because your body shape isn't Freddy and your head shape isn't, it doesn't really look like Freddy. Like, it looks like Freddy, but do you know what I mean? And I say that with all due respect. I'm just saying, it's like me trying to be Darth Vader. It's like, yeah, you're trying to be Darth Vader, Dave. I know you're trying to be Darth Vader because you're dressed as Darth Vader, but you're also 5'8". And that's very cute, Dave. Like, I'm towering over Darth Vader. Like, I would love to dress up as Darth Vader. It would be so awesome. And nothing's stopping me. Like, I'm not saying I couldn't. I could probably do it for Halloween or something, where I come to the door and because all the kids are going to be shorter than me, right? But like, I couldn't, like, I've gone to some cons where I've seen like the 501st, with all like the stormtroopers and the Darth Vader. I'm like, oh, it's magnificent, and Darth Vader's like, whoever's in that costume, he's like 6'5", and I'm just like, oh, he looks epic. He looks amazing. I wish I could do that. I wish I could pull that off. I can't. I'm 5'8". I can't pull. I mean, maybe with boots, I could get myself to 5'10". Do you know what I mean? Like maybe, but that's it. I mean, I can't put, 13-inch boots on me to get myself to 7 feet. I can't do it. And so sometimes I see cosplayers, bless them. Their hearts are in the right spot and they don't fucking care. They're out there living their best life. They're happy. But I do find it kind of funny sometimes when I'm just like, yeah, that's Freddy, and it's funny. But hey, who am I to judge, man? They're rock on. Like, seriously, rock on. You be you, man. It's just always kind of funny to me because I'm all, and maybe the problem is with me, right? Maybe the problem's with me. Is no, Dave, you be that Darth Vader, man. You go out there and be that 5'8" Darth Vader. I'm like, yeah. Now, I could be a stormtrooper. Because even if I wore like stormtrooper boots or something, put a little heel on it or whatever, I could be like 5'9". I could be a stormtrooper. That would be cool. I've always wanted to dress up as a stormtrooper. But Darth Vader, no, man. But I've watched some Darth Vader costume vids where I'm like, that looks so fucking epic. Like the real, like, you know, $2,000, $3,000, not the ones you buy at Party City. I mean like the real fucking armor, like the full on, like chain around the full on. Just like, man, it's amazing, you know, but yeah, I couldn't do it. I could barely be Michael Myers. You know, I can be Freddy because Robert Englund is only, I know it says online he's like 5'11". He's not. Robert Englund is, I think he's about 5'8". Jackie Earl Haley was 5'8" or is 5'8". So, you know, you put boots on me, I could probably, like as Freddy, when like in the movie as Freddy, I had boots on with a little bit of a heel. So I was probably 5'9" in the movie. Now I'm not as broad as Robert. There were some people that watched the movie was like, oh, Freddy looks kind of short. And it's like, it's not that I'm short. I mean, I'm not a tall guy, but I think it's that I don't have as broad as shoulders as Robert Englund does. Robert Englund and I are probably about the same height, but he's much broader and he was much broader then. So that's probably what helps his stature. But I'm still the same height. Like I'm the right height of Fred. Like you don't want Freddy like 6'4". He's not like that. Freddy's just kind of average. He's in that 5, 8, 9, 10. You know, he's in there. So yeah, but I could be Michael. Like I could be like Nick Castle Michael. You know, again, put a boot on me. I could get to 5'9", 5'10", maybe 5'10". I mean, that's 2 inches. But I could be like a Michael from the first. I mean, Dick Warlock had a fucking heel on. Did you see? I mean, watch part 2. He's got a big heel on. And Dick Warlock, I think, is only about 5'9". So I could be like early Michael, maybe. You know. I could be Steve Dash Jason. I could be part 2 Jason, maybe. But that's it. You know, I couldn't be like, you know, anything else beyond that in the series. Yeah, it's funny. It's fun. I guess I always take it so seriously. I'm just like, I couldn't. Like if I was going to dress up as Jason, I would dress up as Sackhead. If I was going to go out, I mean, if I'm at a Halloween party, whatever, I'll dress up as part 6 Jason. It doesn't matter. But if I'm going to be like presenting myself, you know what I mean? I'm like, I can't do that. I got to go as Sackhead Jason. Then it feels more legit. Cause like, oh yeah, you know, that's right. That's good for you, Dave. That's good for you. All right. Let me see here. All right, there we go. All right, so let's take a look. No worries. That's okay. We have jumped up. Hey, we jumped up. We did it. We jumped up. Amazing. Awesome. Very cool. Thank you to the anonymous donor. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that, man. Thank you. That's awesome. We jumped up. Let's look over here. Let me hang on a sec. Go to the other screen. And there you can see we were at 22,217. We've jumped to 22,567. Awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that to the anonymous donor who came in and matched what we did sell. And that's awesome. And you know what? Every little bit helps, folks. Every little bit helps. And I think, you know, again, we're slowly but surely trying to, you know, push our way towards that 30,000 stretch goal, which would be awesome to get to. So thank you to the anonymous donor. Thank you to those who did pick up the perk. And to that person who said earlier, Dave, maybe everybody who's watching you right now has already picked it up. That's actually a very good point and entirely possible. And maybe we'll sell more after the fact when I get off the show here. Who knows? But don't forget the Bloodbath Double Feature. There's 9 left. I'd love to sell them out. 9 left, ladies and gentlemen. Come and watch Halloween with me. Halloween, Rob Zombies, Halloween 2 and Halloween Kills, Halloween Night. And remember, even if you can't make it live, if you pick up the perk, you will get the link for the replay and you will be able to watch it after the fact. So awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, folks. Well, listen, that is going to do it for me here on this episode of McRae Live. We raised a little bit of funds today towards the House on Port Robinson Road development campaign. Awesome, 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 right? Hey, as long as we're going up and not going down, that's the way to do it. You guys are amazing. Thank you to everybody who tuned in today. I really, really, really appreciate it. I will be back soon with a regular show. Don't know what that's going to be yet, but that will come. And my level 2 members on my membership, I'm thinking maybe this Saturday for the next horror movie night to kick off spooky season, but we'll see. All right, folks, take care of yourselves. Have a great rest of your night, and I will talk to you all soon. Where is that? Did I not? Is it this one? Okay, I'm going to play one, and we'll see what happens. All right, have a great night. We'll talk to you soon. Actually, you know what? I'll just go to the card, All right, folks, take care. Cheers.